Right, welcome back to episode number 3 of this Ferrari halfway through career mode, where we try and revive Ferrari's championship hopes from 2022 and make them into reality. Obviously, if you didn't see last race, do go and see that. I'll give you a few seconds. Because once again it was domination from start to finish for the Ferrari team. It was a superb drive from Charles Leclerc, who takes over the lead of the Drivers' Championship from Carlos Sainz. I'm trying to remain as impartial as possible. Sainz had a few issues unlapping cars in the French Grand Prix last week. We corrected a Ferrari mistake that went wrong, with Leclerc spinning and Sainz being given an absolutely doo-doo strategy. And yeah, we basically just got them to finish in a 1-2. Leclerc utterly dominated the Grand Prix, and Sainz fell short in the end. Ferrari clearing the constructors. Very good news for us. We are now going into the Hungaroring. So, Hungary again saw a potential for
the Hungaroring is
Ferrari
a
to challenge Red Bull and Mercedes,
but
the strategy to put them onto hard compound tyres when they were not the best tyre for that particular point in the race saw them lose significantly out on the points. Now obviously this isn't real life, the hards may well be a good tyre, but we don't know that. Once again, we're going to do it as normal. Just send both drivers into P1 and P2 by themselves, get confident with their setup, and just see what happens. So, end of practice 1, Leclerc top, Sainz second, Verstappen penalty. Big moment here. Verstappen with the penalty. That's very big for the championship fight. I mean, is it already a foregone conclusion? Yes, but it's interesting to see how many races we can win. Alonso again with a penalty. That guy is a penalty magnet, and Pierre Gasly, no one else to worry about. Latifi not last. Wow, incredible. Right, already 51. I found while doing this, Sainz has definitely been easier to get the setups right for. Leclerc is very demanding for his setups. And that may be showing here. Sainz now edging out Leclerc in FP2. Verstappen right behind, albeit with penalties to come. 59, 55, that's not bad to be fair. Sainz not acclimatising himself to the track though. It's interesting. So I will once again now cut to the end of free practice 3 and I will show you what happened. Okay, so end of free practice 3 then, and we can see that Charles Leclerc edging out Carlos Sainz. I improved both of their setups to Leclerc being, I think it was 81% confident with his, which is absolutely fine, and Sainz was 88. Yeah, Hungaroring is a very unpredictable circuit, and you can see one of the big shocks in this session was Pierre Gasly, who has a penalty, remember. He is quicker than Perez. So Gasly finished that session P4, and I can tell you that both were impeded on their flying laps. So it's not as if Perez was really heavily impeded and Gasly had a clean lap. Gasly was also stuck behind a slower car, and so was Perez, so neither of them set a particularly representative lap time necessarily, but Gasly ended up being quicker, and this is why I say the Hungaroring is a circuit full of surprises. Anyone can be out there, and so long as they're there at the right time, anything can happen. But yeah, we can see both drivers have been absolutely in dreamland again. Q1 we'll move into qualifying now. Again, this should be a one and done. I'm slightly concerned. The rain's 35%. It shouldn't rain. That being said, these do look like the optimum track conditions. Maybe right at the end, but I think the Ferrari pace should be so much so that it should just be a one and done kind of lap. Here in Q1, we just need to go out there, set a lap time and make sure we don't crash. Yep, that should be good enough. Perez almost a second slower than us. I mean, that should be enough to see us through. I will not worry about going out again. We'll watch the timing sheets play out for us on the left, but I don't think there'll be any major surprises. There's no rain to throw complications into the mix. So let's see who is going to fall at the first hurdle. Vettel slowest, wow. Slightly shocking. Ocon's going to need to improve. His teammate's up in 7th, a whole second quicker than him. This could be bad news for Esteban Ocon if he doesn't get a good lap time in here. Let's see what happens. Ocon does improve. Both Astons are out, both Williams will be out as well, and Schumacher in the Haas is out as well. Sonoda survives. Ocon, despite having a pretty poor first lap, is through. Gasly again has shown good pace, only a little bit slower than Perez this time, so I think that wasn't a fluke. I think Gasly is just quicker than Perez this weekend, but Perez obviously in a quicker car. Why is Leclerc's setup saying untested? Okay, sure. Anyway, Q2 should be a very similar story, I would say.
Carlos, can you hear me?
I might just wait a little bit to get into the sweet spot of the track, but again, it should just be kind of a one flyer and done. If I skip ahead a little bit here, I mean, yeah, I think this would be a good time to send both drivers out. Oh, we've sent him right into Gasly's path. I want Gasly to do well this week, and this will be funny if he can get like onto the podium or something. Oh, our drivers are going to come across traffic here. Oh dear. We are still a second faster than everyone. Maybe I'll send them out again then, just to be safe. I'll send them out on the same tyres. Used set, because we should improve without the traffic, but that was not the cleanest first lap I'd have liked. Alonso, wow, down there. Magnussen has had a good lap here in the Haas. I'm just gonna send them both out again just to be absolutely safe, I think. And they shouldn't encounter any traffic on this lap. Everyone should be... Oh, maybe they will towards the end. Hopefully it'll just be Russell. No, everyone is fine. Let's see. Yep, we go even quicker. This is good news. Had to take a second run, but that's not the worst thing that could have possibly happened. Okay, I didn't really see who made it through there or not. Magnussen has made it through in the Haas. That's a very impressive job from him. Gasly's lost pace a little bit and now slower than Hamilton. Ocon flirted with danger too much. He's out, so with Sonoda, Zhou, and both McLarens. Okay, it's into Q3 then. Let's see what happens. I don't know why Leclerc's setup is saying untested. That is a weird one. What are we saying in
Radio
terms
check.
of conditions?
Radio check, okay.
I'd like to send them out a little bit later into this, sort of about for that run here. If I send them out about now, yeah, you can see we're going to be in with the gaggle of cars that have gone out. there shouldn't be much traffic issue. Or we've given Perez a beautiful slipstream to the line. Which is a bit sad, but oh well. Leclerc ahead of Sainz, and we are 1.2 ahead. These are some impressive laps from some of the midfield teams, you know. Magnussen in the Haas. Very, very impressive done. Verstappen's close. Verstappen is very close. I don't think I need... I don't think I need to go out again. I might just send them out on to the same tyres and just see if they improve, maybe. I don't think I really need to, but just to be safe, I suppose. There's no harm in it. I'll send them out first as well. Let's see what they can do. Come on, Charles and Sainz. They don't improve. Gasly improves up to 4th. What an effort from Pierre. Max and Perez both improve. Gasly, what a lap time from the Frenchman. That's a superb effort. P5. Obviously he has got penalties coming his way. He will be very happy with that. Russell will be disappointed with only P9 behind Magnussen in the Haas, who clearly just has upgraded his car. They've clearly just put new upgrades on that Haas because he doesn't have penalties. So it's not as if it's like component wear difference and he's got like a brand new engine in there. That's very interesting. Okay.
Here we are, folks. We're back for another day of scintillating F1.
Here we go. Let's go to this full Grand Prix strategy I'm looking at today. Soft hard looks a little bit too aggressive. Even medium hard is looking a little bit... or you might be struggling towards the end. That line there is for 30% wear. When it goes below that, the drivers start to struggle with grip. So I am going... I think I'm gonna... maybe I do a 2-stop this Grand Prix. No, I'm going to stick to the traditional 1-stop. Let's not overcomplicate it. Obviously, we'll see tyre wear in the race. We'll see how the race may evolve. If the wear is more or less than predicted. Obviously, these are only estimates. So
this is it. The Hungarian
looks like there's a
Grand Prix.
couple of cars starting on soft. I don't think there's anyone taking the hard tyres off the start. Most of them look like we're on mediums, though. Yeah, it's very split across the board. Perez, though, one of the ones on soft tyres, is interesting. He might cause problems for Sainz at the start. I might need to micromanage here, Carlos. This is... okay, he is safe. Which is good news. Although he is... I want to push Carlos, keep in the DRS if your teammate. I just need to make sure that after lap 2 they're both within DRS of each other so we can play the team game and pull away. Look at Magnussen in the Haas up to 4th, by the way. Oh my goodness gracious me. This could be an incredible race for the Haas car. Right, okay, I'm going to let off now. Yellow in sector 2, looks like it's Sonoda that's gone round.
Locked up and gone straight
or lock up, as Crofty has very kindly pointed out there. Right, Leclerc looks way quicker. I'll be honest, Leclerc looks like a proper world champion here. You can see I had to keep Sainz in the range by pushing him. As soon as I let go of pushing him, he's just dropped immediately. I think Leclerc looks more confident in the corners by the looks of it. He's just pulling out constant time through corners. Yeah, I mean, this is just an absolute dominant drive from Leclerc. I didn't think the pace was quite this dramatic. They looked really close to each other in terms of pace. On the hards especially, almost Sainz was a little bit quicker on the hards in FP3, but in the race that has not transpired, and Charles is pushing away here. So obviously if there's any action I will come back to that, but it looks like for the time being everyone is just holding station. I mean, honestly, the more interesting race might be how long can Magnussen keep P4 for. Mercedes right behind him, Red Bull of Verstappen right on the tail as well. Oh, and he's got past. This fighting will help Magnussen. Can he push away? He's now got a very angry Dutchman behind him. Anyway, cut to a good bit of action. Oh, Sainz is locked up. Sainz is locked up. Can he keep his position? Yes, he can.
And that's the
Oh
lockup.
dear. I mean, remember, he wasn't as acclimatised to the track as Charles Leclerc. Sainz locks up on the exit of turn 1, and that has hand-wrapped this to Leclerc now. It's all on Leclerc to lose, but Sainz, is he struggling? I just want to check. Yeah, I mean, how many? No, not really his tyres being too different. I think his tyres are slightly warmer than Charles, but
At the moment, we are the fastest
I don't know.
track.
I think
Copy.
I don't know. I really don't know why Sainz has done that. He just clearly isn't too happy with the track, but I don't know. Yeah, that's very quickly after I initially cut, only 6 laps afterwards I think it was. So Leclerc now has an absolute godly chance. Just to give you a bit of more rounded commentary, Kevin Magnussen obviously got overtaken by the much quicker Red Bull, but he just has more straight line speed than this Mercedes. He just can't keep up, and through the corners he's on the soft tyres. So Hamilton with DRS doesn't gain enough on the straights, and through the corners the soft tyres giving Magnussen more grip to just stay ahead of the Mercedes. This has been an incredible drive from the Haas. Maybe if this was a multiple season career mode I'd give Magnussen the call up to the team, but yeah, alas, this is only a 1 season. Well, for you guys it's only a half season thing, but yes, anyway, the aftermath of that seems to have calmed down now. Sainz has stabled the ship a little bit. He's pulled out a gap to Verstappen again, so I will cut to the next bit of action. Oh no, Leclerc is out. Is he from the lead of this Grand Prix? Is he okay? He'll need a front wing change. I'm going to have to put him onto the hard tyres.
Here's
What
the
has happened
replay.
to Leclerc? He's
Okay,
crashed
here's the Ferrari.
from the lead of the Grand Prix. Leclerc. Oh no.
That crash is terrible news for the
Spins
team.
it out. Can he get going again? Yes, he can. This is disastrous. He did it right at the end of the lap as well. Fortunately, I think it's already confirmed. Yeah, we are coming in. Did I make sure that the front wing was on as well? Yeah.
So box now, box, speed confirm.
Copy box.
So, I don't know why that's not telling me that it is. I literally just did it. But anyway, So Leclerc is going to have to pit earlier, and Sainz, out of absolutely nowhere, is in a great position this Grand Prix now. I can say most other drivers have pitted. They were the ones riding the soft tyres, so they're going to be on a two-stop strategy most likely, unless they risk the hards till the end of the Grand Prix. More likely they will go on to mediums. So Leclerc is going to have to pit earlier than what would have been ideal, but has that not changed his front wing? No, it has. It's just a visual thing. They just can't do the front wing changes then. Okay, right. So his front wing change has happened. He is now out in 4th. Right. So Leclerc now has to push these hards a long way to the end of this Grand Prix, and has got overtaking to do. So this Grand Prix is going to hot up now. We may not be cutting too much more. Another yellow one. This has been a crazy race. I think there's been about 8 drivers that have all locked up or spun at some point. Sonoda has now done it twice. Magnussen, Alonso, Stroll, Zhou, Albon. They've all dropped their car, locked up. They've all done anything, and now it's been Sainz and Leclerc as well. Right, Leclerc, damage limitation, what can you do? Let's see, he's coming up. Let me ride on board with him here. Gonna tell him to push, because we are faster than the Mercedes. Go, go, go. Round the outside, mate, round the outside. Nope. Oh, yes! Good boy. Good, Charles. Well done. Well done. Right. That was a needed overtake to get past the Mercedes as soon as possible. Right. Can't obviously forget about Sainz, who's pitting onto the hards now, is obviously now in a much better position than Charles here. He will come out ahead of him and on fresher hard tyres as well. Leclerc, though, setting pace again. So Hamilton's now pitting. Typical, just as we have to get past him. Brilliant. So Sainz has come out just ahead of Verstappen, which is good news. We really needed that. Leclerc... What's going to happen to Leclerc? Can he catch? The Stroll now locks up again. It's going to happen to Leclerc in this race. I'll cut to if he catches Verstappen. So we are quite a few laps later in this Grand Prix, lap 45, but the gap is finally within 2 seconds. Leclerc's going to push. I'm going to tell him, use some of your fuel. I'm not going to tell Sainz to do that. It's an unnecessary risk. But Leclerc is going to need to overtake Verstappen on track if Verstappen does want to try and push these hards to the end of this Grand Prix. The computer did say that the one-stop soft to hard was possible, albeit with extreme wear at the end. So I'm going to take the assumption that Max isn't going to take a pit stop again. I'm now just going to tell Leclerc, because he's not very good on tyres, just to use fuel, and I'm also going to deploy some ERS just to get him nice and close down these 2 straights. What can he do? Max covers it off. Almost. Not completely, but he does. Just about. Now though, we'll stay on board with them. Leclerc, I'm just going to leave his fuel on push. He does not need to fuel manage at this moment in time. What can he do as they're into sector 3? He's just got to stay nice and close. Verstappen's Verstappen is just so far behind Sainz. All we focus on now is Leclerc. Leclerc to the inside, swoops in, and also has the DRS again, and is clear of Max. I'm just going to keep him in push for the time being as Perez pits again, which implies to me that actually Max is on a 2-stop and was just out there to see. Maybe he could stall us for time. Right, so Leclerc's broken a second. I'm now going to not risk it. Leclerc's already made contact with the barriers. This race, I do not need him to be making contact anymore, and Max does indeed come into the pits again after failing to hold us up for any meaningful length of time. Right, so I will cut if there is any more action. So on to the final 5 laps of this Hungarian Grand Prix. One thing I didn't consider when Verstappen pit, I probably should have pit Leclerc, because I wouldn't have lost anything. I don't think Leclerc was catching all the way back up to Sainz. But by leaving him out, Verstappen on mediums is gaining a lot on Leclerc. And I just hope that his tyres are now out of their optimum working range, because I am slightly scared now with Leclerc that his tyres are going to be falling off a cliff. I am just going to be sure and tell Leclerc to use his fuel here. Sainz is long gone out in front, a very impressive response to Leclerc's dominant French Grand Prix. But despite the lead out in front, I would say this race has not at all been comfortable for me as a team principal. I've had to think quickly on my feet to respond to Leclerc and Sainz, both having moments. Leclerc's very big. But you can see Verstappen is closing the gap. I really don't want Leclerc to lose P2 here, so I am just going to leave him on the fuel. I think, fortunately, the race end is going to come just about soon enough. It's going to be pretty close by the end, but I think we've just about bred it to perfection. That is a slight blunder by me. You can take the man out of Ferrari, but you can't take the Ferrari out of the man, I think the expression would be. And yeah, it's tough. I should have pit Leclerc, and I didn't think to do so. I wouldn't have lost anything by pitting Leclerc because Max had to pit anyway. So I probably should have done that. And now I've put him in a slightly uncomfortable position for the last few laps. He's got to keep it neat and tidy. Sainz has been commanding out in front, has had no issues other than the slight lock-up very early in the Grand Prix. We head on to the penultimate lap. I'm going to ride on board with Max. What can he do? Is he going to close up enough? I don't think he will. He's got to do 1.5 seconds a lap to even catch me, let alone pass me, so I don't think he's done it. I think the race is going to end about 2 laps too prematurely for Max, which is very good news for us. I mean, this could have gone horribly by me.
This is the last lap.
Max has got the fastest lap. I didn't really bother trying to steal fastest lap with anyone, to be honest, because Leclerc and Sainz on used hards are not going to be quicker than Max on new mediums. Fortunately, I also saved a lot of fuel for Leclerc, so he has been able to push. Even with the push, Verstappen has been quicker per lap than Leclerc, but I think we're fine. I will ride on board with Sainz as he is already rounding the final few corners in this race. Final corner, Sainz responds to Leclerc's French victory with a win of his own at the Hungaro ring. This is a great drive from him.
And Sainz crosses the
Leclerc's
line.
kind of given it to him, but he comes home for P2 after crashing with the wall in the final corner.
Let's go.
He'll be
You've done a
happy
good job.
that it wasn't more serious. That could have been a race-ending crash. Well done to Max finishing P3. Perez is going to drive home for 4th. Hamilton will be 5th. So Sainz wins the Hungarian Grand Prix, a big race for him as he looks to reclaim, and does reclaim, the lead in the Drivers' Championship. So, 2 points the gap, a 2-horse race. Out in front, the constructors may already be wrapped up. Not the maximum haul this weekend. Red Bull with Verstappen did get the fastest lap point. So, it's an interesting race for sure. Gasly, very good job from him. He's been quick all weekend, up 7 places. Magnussen will be heartbroken. He has not got a single point this race. Hamilton down 1, Verstappen, the raging Red Bull, up in P8. Of course, had his penalty. So, overall, a very solid Grand Prix weekend. Leclerc 1 development point. Is there a way I can stop him spinning with that? Let's hope so. Mid-season review. Board confidence high, as it should be. I'm literally dominating this season. So, monthly car development. You can see we developed a lot early on, and we are still first in acceleration, first through all the corners, first in acceleration, and through cornering in dirty air, we're first in all aspects, in all corners, and for brake cooling we're first as well. We're then 3rd for top speed, 3rd for DRS top speed, and engine cooling, we are 7th on the grid, but that's slightly less important for us. But, I mean, it says car 1 performance. Identical parts are on both cars. I try and make it so that both drivers always have pretty similar car parts. Obviously, board confidence checking, yep. So drivers, Leclerc has a development point. His defending is just so low for Leclerc. I'm just going to keep levelling him up. Sainz didn't get one, nor did Poucher. Ooh. Head of aerodynamics can get one now. That's nice. I mean, cooling is the area that they say is the most important area, but his worst is DRS delta, so I'll put one on DRS delta, and then neither of the race engineers can do it. So, border in poor condition. Again, doesn't matter, but I will refurbish it. Right, research on the front wing is completed. So I'm going to now develop a new part of the car. So as you can see, we're still on spec 1 side pods. So I'm going to now put in quite a lot of hours into this new side pods. So that now gets all of our cornering done. Engine cooling. If I do that, and then you can see everything else will stay first, but engine cooling will move to 3rd on the grid. So I'll be happy with that. Engineers rushed. I want to try and get these done as soon as possible. Obviously it's not going to be done before the Important email. It's not going to be done before the race. Front wing low stock. Yes, of course, because of Leclerc's crash. I need to just make one more. I don't mind doing things unrushed. Just helps things move along. Right, I think then that will about wrap up this episode. I'm just going to do a couple of these refurbishments. If you guys have enjoyed this episode, then thank you very much, and I look forward to recording the Belgian Grand Prix tomorrow. Peace.